Hiking is a great activity. You get to enjoy nature and have a workout at the same time. When you hike off the grid, it can be refreshing. But the thing about being off the grid is that nobody can help you right away when you are in trouble. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like and share this video with your friends. A group of hikers stumbled on a hidden tomb during one of their adventures. The entrance to the tomb was covered by a large circular stone. The hikers scrambled over to check it out. Imagine their excitement when they rolled the stone door over. Emma, her husband Chris, and their friend Tommy entered the tomb without hesitation, excited that they could discover something big. But after taking a few steps inside, the excitement turned into fear. The tomb was damp and dark, and the air smelled of decay. The passage seemed to go for miles. It was a good thing they were prepared and brought some headlamps with them. It was a big help in navigating through the darkness. Then they reached a stop when they found themselves in front of a locked gate. Chris and Tommy immediately wanted to try the locked door. Emma, on the other hand, was more hesitant. She told the two that this may not be a good idea and that they should go back. But Chris also pointed out that they have already come this far. If they did not finish what they started, they would be spending the rest of their lives wondering about it. And nothing is worse than always having what it's bothering you. In the end, Emma's adventurous spirit and curiosity got the best of her. Emma knew Chris was right. Emma gave in and agreed to continue their exploration. Tommy found a heavy and solid stone, hoping that it could help break the old lock. Tommy tried to crush the lock with the heavy stone, but the lock did not budge. It was starting to look like the adventure was about to end. But Tommy and Chris were very curious. They believed that Chris suggested that they find another way in. He was eager to get some answers. The three tried different methods to open the door. Tommy then tried to kick the door down. He gave the stubborn door a strong kick. The sound echoed down the dark hallway. Everyone held their breath as the door creaked open. The three slowly stepped into the hallway. The air was musty and damp. It seemed like they stumbled into something ancient. The walls were lined with strange hieroglyphic-like symbols. Seeing the walls instantly got everyone excited. This adventure was turning out into something bigger than what they thought. But after walking through the narrow path for almost about an hour, they were not getting anywhere. Emma's doubts started to creep in. Emma did not feel comfortable in the dark passageway anymore, but Chris and Tommy encouraged her to keep going. There was no way they could not turn back now. They may be on the verge of discovering something big. Then, a few minutes later, the trio did stumble into something big. The group stopped in their tracks, and Emma's scream pierced through the empty ancient hallway. They finally found something unexpected. The group stumbled into a room with a bunch of skeletons. And if that was not scary enough, there was something strange about the skeletons. They were arranged in a circle. One of the skeletons had a box on their hands. Chris felt a bit guilty when he saw the look on Emma's face. She was so scared that she was practically shaking. He tried his best to calm her down, saying it was just a bunch of bones. Chris and Tommy assured her that they were all in this together. When Emma calmed down, they tried to get a closer look at the box. The box was covered in writing. They could not understand it, nor did it look familiar. It looked like an unknown language. Chris and Tommy were puzzled. The mysterious box had all of Tommy's attention. He was about to pry them off the skeleton's hands when Emma screamed at him not to touch it. She muttered something about curses. Chris sighed. He was starting to get frustrated. Emma was being like a downer. Can't she understand that they have stumbled onto something potentially great? Emma pleaded with them to just leave the box alone, but Chris and Tommy were determined to uncover the secrets that came along with it. The box was something important. This was an opportunity that they should not let slip away. Tommy agreed with Chris. They were in the moment now. This was something that they could not just walk away from. Chris said they should just take the box. Tommy reaches out for it. He noticed his hands were trembling and felt his sweat run cold. Could Emma's fears have gotten into his head? But then he realized he had to worry about something else. The box was hard to take away. It's like the skeleton had a death grip on it. Tommy tugged a little harder, and he was able to wrench it free from the skeleton's grasp. The sound of bones cracking filled the room. Now that they had the mysterious box, they decided it was time to make their way out. But when they finally reached the gate, they saw something unexpected. Their eyes widened. The locked gate that Tommy kicked open was closed and locked again. Does this mean they were not the only ones who knew about the tomb? Was someone aware that they were inside and locked them in? Chris and Tommy exchanged worried looks. Maybe Emma was right all along. Emma was now on the verge of crying. She knew something was bound to go wrong in a mysterious situation like this. Tommy tried to kick the door with all his might again. The gate was no longer budging. Suddenly, they hear a faint rustling sound behind me. Was something in the tomb with them? "Kick it open, Tommy," Emma said urgently, desperate to get out of the tomb. Tommy finally managed to kick the door open again, their hearts pounding and with the fear giving them an adrenaline rush. The three ran out of the tomb as fast as they could. They had to get out of there right away. Relief washed over them as they reached the end of the tunnel and felt the open air. They emerged from the tomb breathless and shaken. There were a lot of questions running through their minds. They almost forgot that they had taken the mysterious box with them. The first thing they needed to do was to go back to safety and then deal with the box. They walked back to where they left the car. But even when they were safely inside the car, nobody talked about what just happened. Chris tried to break the awkward silence by laughing and trying to downplay the scary moment they just had. The three of them agreed to forget about the mysteries of the day for now and deal with the box when they reached Chris and Emma's house. But despite that, the drive back home was silent. Everyone seemed to be lost in their thoughts. Suddenly, Tommy asked Chris to just drop him off at his apartment. He suddenly decided that he did not want to do anything with the box. It seemed like he got spooked. Emma turned to Tommy and reminded him that he was the one who took the box. But Tommy could not be convinced to go home with them. He said he was exhausted and needed some rest. Chris and Emma dropped Tommy off and took the box home with them. Emma was so uneasy about having the mysterious box in their house. Chris, on the other hand, was curious and excited to find out what was in it. But Emma was also feeling too tired. They both decided to sleep on it. She did not want Chris toying with that thing alone. The next morning, Chris rolled out of bed, eager to open the box. He rushed to the garage where he left it. But he found that finding out more about the box would be not as easy as he thinks. He had tried everything he could think of, but the box was sealed shut. Chris was not sure what to do with it. After finding out Chris could not open it, Emma told him they should just surrender it to the cops. But Chris was not ready to give it up yet. Emma reminded him that it was not theirs anyway, they just took it. Chris tried all the tools that he had, but the box still would not budge. In the end, Chris decided Emma was right. It was useless keeping the box to themselves if they could not even open it. And Emma did not want to keep it. The best way to deal with the box was to give it to the cops, and hopefully, they will find the right authorities to deal with it. Chris made the call and explained the situation. The cops immediately arrived within minutes. When the cops took a look at it, they did not hesitate to take it away, saying that this may be important. They told Chris and Emma that they would have to send it to the right experts. Chris requested that they would be informed once they get to crack it open. Weeks had passed, and they had never heard anything about it. Chris and Emma almost forgot about the box when the cops came knocking on their door once more. They dropped by to tell them that there were developments.